Good evening. Welcome to the fourth in a series of shows by the Age-Friendly Cities Committee that focuses on Brookline as an age-friendly community. In 2012, Brookline was named an age-friendly community by the World Health Organization, and the Board of Selectmen then created a committee called the Age-Friendly Cities Committee to implement all the age-friendly activities and age-friendly features of Brookline. Today we're going to focus on the health services initiatives. Brookline is, and today we brought our guest, Dr. Chris Chanya-Sulkut, who's ideally suited to discuss this subject. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Chris is a human services specialist in the Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Relations Department. Chris is a town meeting member, and she's a key member of the Age-Friendly Cities Committee. Chris also has a range of contributions she's given to Brookline. She's the co-chair of the Brookline Commission for Women. She's on the Brookline Emergency Response Team, on the Brookline Medical Reserve Corps. And Chris is also from the federal side of things. Chris has received a commendation from and is an appointed member of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Regional Health Equity Council for New England. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to start off. We have a winter coming, and we remember last winter very sadly, and we want to be ready for this winter. So I'd like to, if possible, start off with a little discussion of preparation for the winter. Emergency preparedness. I myself have been involved in that in the past and been very concerned about it. What happens in Brookline for seniors?
So we're really lucky and fortunate in Brookline that we have an amazing emergency preparedness program that's run out of the Brookline Health Department and also with the Brookline Police Department. So the Brookline Health Department, under the leadership of Dr. Alan Balson, has an emergency preparedness buddies program, which pairs up seniors and others in Brookline who maybe don't have family or friends nearby, those with certain conditions or disabilities that maybe may need help during an emergency situation. And what it is there is a buddy that's vetted and trained through the health department to be paired up with a senior or someone who maybe will need help. And they'll make sure that the senior has the supplies needed to prepare for emergency events, such as, unfortunately, a blizzard again or an ice storm as we've had in the past.
Right.
While that's a really important program, and we look to have seniors call if they think that they would like to participate in it, it's free of charge. We're also looking for people in general who want to participate and be a buddy to a senior or someone else. Okay. And in general, the whole notion of the program is to be a good neighbor and to lend a hand. And if you're living, for example, in a condo building with many units,
I am.
You are. You should, knock on a door and find out if your neighbor maybe needs help.
Absolutely.
And just to get to know each other, so you can check on each other if for some reason the heat goes out in the building, right, or the water, there's an issue with it. The other thing to make sure we know is to be prepared. Right. Go out and make sure you have extra supplies of canned foods. And not just that you have canned foods, but that you have a way to open it, a manual can opener. You get those cans with the tops that you can open. Right. You have a supply of food or medications, for example.
Right. Medications are important. Yes.
You want to make sure you have an emergency supply of medication,
yeah.
A flashlight with batteries, that works, right. A radio. These are all things that are really important for everyone.
Everything I missed. But
No, we want to make sure that everyone's
yes,
prepared.
I will. Yes.
And it's just something to think about, as well as the health department, and everyone really wants you to know that you should make sure that you talk to your healthcare provider, right, to make sure you get your flu shot. There's a lot that we can do to make sure that we are prepared and can stay healthy during this winter months where we're sort of inside, yes. But definitely prepare.
That one I've done.
Good, good.
Yeah, what do I do if I want to become a buddy or if I need a buddy?
Absolutely, that's a great question.
Who do I call?
Call the health department.
Okay.
I believe at the end of this program, they'll have credits scrolling with the information for that. You can call my office. We work very closely with our colleagues in the health department. It's a great program. Or they can provide you with pamphlets and information on what are the things you need to do to make sure that you're prepared.
I know we're going to list the number. What's your number at the health department?
My number is
yes.
888-730-2329.
Great. We'll put it up again later. But,
Okay, thank you.
And I'll ask you when you're not expecting it.
Okay, it's a test.
Right. Food, you mentioned. Canned food. What about food in Brookline?
So it's important for everyone, and also seniors. Everyone has different dietary needs. We want to make sure everyone has really good nutrition. That's key to maintaining good health, as well as during these winter months. So again, we're pretty lucky in Brookline. We have lots of opportunities to gain access to fresh and healthy food. So first off, if income is a barrier at all towards food, to definitely call my office. The Brookline Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Relations has a staff person who you can call. We'll set up a time so that you can get help in signing up for SNAP benefits. So SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It was also known as food stamps.
Oh, right.
And we have someone who can sit down with you and help you apply for that.
Right.
We can at the same time also help you apply for Mass Health. We want to make sure everyone who needs it can get health insurance coverage as well. And we have an assister in our office who can help you do that.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's good.
It's a great program, and we're very lucky that we are able to do that. And then, so once you have that, there's also the access to the Brookline Food Pantry, which already serves 550 different households in Brookline. So we want to make sure that everyone has access to food. And so definitely call the food pantry. They can help you find out if you're eligible, and they distribute food at different points during the week in a couple of different locations as well.
Yeah, doesn't the senior center do something also?
Absolutely. I believe it's on Tuesdays, but definitely check with the senior center.
Okay.
They provide and distribute food as well, I believe, on Tuesdays, and they also have hot meals that they can provide. So the senior center is a great resource, and it's also a wonderful and open place that I encourage people to go for a number of reasons. And finally, I forgot to mention is the Brookline Winter Farmers Market, which is in the Arcade Building on Harvard Street in Coolidge Corner.
Right.
That's great. You can get access to local meats, breads, dairy. It's all delicious. And they also now accept SNAP benefits as well.
So is this the same group that's in the farmers market in the summer, or some of the same people? Or
I believe that
different?
there are some, and then also new and different vendors.
But
will
there
be
is
there.
food available there. Well,
Absolutely.
And that's great.
And it's local.
Yeah, it's a good place to go. It's a good place to meet people too.
Yes.
The thing about the farmers market in the summer is that it's a great place to socialize.
And it's in the Arcade Building, so it's warm and indoors.
Yeah, it's a key.
It's warm.
Okay, we mentioned the senior center, but we recently had the recreation department on.
Mm-hmm.
What about the winter? That was the summer programs, and we heard a lot about what's outdoors. What do we have in the winter for exercises there?
So the Brookline Recreation Department under Lisa Preparedness and Melissa Petit has programs year-round, and in the winter they have a huge catalog of great programs, from everything from yoga to hiking to skiing, and then a lot of indoor activities as well. Like I said, yoga and aqua jogging and swimming.
That's good. I'm a swimmer, a little bit.
Okay.
It's been a few years, but jogging I can do now.
Yeah, aqua jogging. I can personally say that I've taken the aqua jogging classes here, and it's great. I've taken it with a number of other seniors, and they totally kicked my butt. Right. It's a great program. It's a great workout. And there are activities for everyone. It's very family friendly. It's very age friendly. And there is also a discount for Brookline residents as well.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah, that's discount's nice. The senior center itself, that has some exercises, doesn't it? And
Brookline
fitness classes?
Yeah, they have fitness classes. They have a great fitness room, fitness facility, and they have classes, yoga, tai chi. They are happening in place.
Yeah, right.
There is something happening at all points of the day. I encourage you could go there and get food. You can get a hot meal. You can watch a show. You can get exercise, meet your friends, make new friends.
Right.
There's a lot that you can get at the Brookline Senior Center, and we're very fortunate, but definitely.
Yeah, and there's the Brookline Community Aging Network that's there. We've talked about before that you can participate in some of their activities when you're down there, and it's pretty nice. The exercise, so we have exercise, we have nutrition, we have health. What about socializing itself and being able to get involved and reach people?
Yeah, so especially during the winter months, you want to have good nutrition, you want to have great, you want to have good health care, you want to make sure you're flu shot and you're prepared, nutrition and exercise, but a lot of people don't think, it's not their first thing to think about, is that during the winter months, you also want to have socialization, you want to have activities, you want to meet people and get out there. It is cold, it is the winter months. You might think, I'll just stay inside, but that wouldn't really be very helpful. It's not good for your mental health and well-being. It's a long winter.
It's a long winter.
And time flies when you're having fun,
right,
you know? And it makes it so much more enjoyable if you're out there and you're with people.
Right.
You have no idea, you know, where you can make and meet new friends, or to gather with your old friends that you already have. And so, again, in Brookline, we're really fortunate. I think if you know, got, you know, the Brookline newspaper or, you know, went to the senior center site, you could probably have more activities than you have time to do. But there's a lot for socialization in Brookline. There's the senior center, again, I mentioned. There's movie screenings, there's book groups, there's talks, there's exercise.
The library is.
The library is. I was just going to get to that.
Right.
You're such a good host.
Well, I actually, the library is an important thing to me, and I like to, you know, I heard recently that there are social events. It sort of builds up on you. I know, you know, you go there and you happen to meet people. That's one thing. But we have 3 different libraries, first of all, right? So which are they? They're the
Putterham, the Brookline Main Library, and Coolidge Corner.
Okay. And they all have events, don't they? I mean,
they all have events, and they are very age-friendly. There are events for everyone from babies to senior citizens and everything in between. It's just an amazing wealth of resources. They're free, they're open to the public. And so I definitely think it's a great place to go, especially in the winter months, because it's warm. There's computers you can use. There are these wonderful librarians who can recommend a great book, help you learn how to use a program on a computer, or they'll have a story, you know, a nice book club. There's a lot you can do there. They do movie screenings and there's, I think there's a Lego club there. There's sort of
they keep CDs of this show.
They keep CDs of this show, and you can watch that, or you can go on their computer and watch this show online there as well.
Absolutely.
So they have a lot of really fun programs there that I think people should realize you can go there, and it's a warm, safe environment as well.
It is.
And they have, you know, I'm often at the Brookline Main Library, comfortable chairs. It's just a beautiful space as well. Right. And there's rooms where you can gather and chat with someone about a book, or if you have questions, the librarians are really always there to answer them. And they have a wealth of knowledge. So definitely go to the library. And then other places that, just a couple more I would be remiss to mention would be the Brookline Adult and Community Education.
Okay.
It is an amazing public education program that we have in Brookline. And
I just saw the pamphlet. It just came out, right?
Yeah, and it's a huge booklet, actually.
Yeah, it is.
And it has everything from talks to armchair traveling to learning how to use your iPhone and Facebook and computer technology to speaking another language.
Yes.
And everything in between. So that is a really great resource. And then also has, I believe, you know, different price points as well. So I think that's something to think about. And then finally, in our Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Relations, which is under the great director, Dr. Lloyd Gelano, we have a number of programs that we're working on developing and that we co-sponsor with a number of other town departments, offices, and programs. So there's a lot you can look forward to in this winter season. On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we'll be working with the MLK celebration, and there will be a program at the Coolidge Corner Theater that, again, will be open to the public as well. And that'll be a great way as a community to come together and to celebrate the diversity. And
well, that's a great, when is that, do you know?
That will be Martin Luther King Day. On Martin Luther King Day.
On the day itself. Okay.
Yeah, on the day itself. We're also going to be working with a number of other groups in town for the Lunar New Year celebration. So we'll have that, and that'll be on Saturday, February 6th, and that'll be at the Brookline High School.
Has that happened before, or is this the first
Yes,
one?
so I believe this will be the fourth one.
Fourth time, okay.
And that will be at the high school, and that, again, is free and open to the public, and we'll have everything from cultural performances to free different Asian foods to try. In our office, we are all about celebrating the diversity and richness that is in our town and to creating a more inclusive environment. And so it's a great, wonderful, free activity that brings people together, and you can learn so much from learning about arts and culture and food. And it's a Pan-Asian celebration, so we'll have a number of different celebrations, and it'll be a mix of seniors to children to everything in between. So there's a lot to look forward to in this winter season.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I'm looking forward to that.
It's delicious.
Now, the committees that prepare this, who participates in these? Is this special committees for each of the events? Or?
So there is an MLK Celebration Committee that works closely with the Brookline Office of Diversity for the MLK Celebration Committee, for example. And then also, for example, with the Lunar New Year celebration, it's co-sponsored with a number of other partners within the town who help support and provide funding to it, because it's important that we make it free and open to the public.
Right.
And then it also works with the Brookline Asian American Family Network that do a lot of the planning and provide a lot of the volunteers for it. The Brookline Emergency Response Team and the Medical Reserve Corps also volunteer at some of these events and help us put it on. And then we also have, it's at the high school, so the Brookline High School students, a lot of them are performing in the Asian Pacific Club as well.
Oh, that's great.
And they provide a lot of activities with a lot of the Asian language teachers as well. So it's a real community event. I mean, we've had in the past years up to 250 people who come to this event. So it's huge and it's wonderful.
A lot of the activities are at the high school, right?
Yep, they'll all be at the high school on Saturday, February 6th.
February 6th, great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a fun January and February.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. And then, in March, which hopefully it won't be, but it could still be cold, March is National Women's History Month. And so our diversity office works closely with the Brookline Commission for Women. And March is also National Women's History Month. And the Brookline Commission for Women will put on an event at Hunneman Hall at the Brookline Library again. And it's a free event where we honor a new Brookline Woman of the Year for 2016. And then we also will honor students in grades 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade who will write an essay about a woman that inspires them.
Oh, wow.
And it's just...
This is a weekend of women. I read the New York Times, and there was a lot of women. But and you're on the Council on Women, so but that's fabulous.
It's a fun event to hear what little kids see
exactly. That's
as
what I
a
was
woman.
thinking.
It's really fun. I mean, there's tears, there's laughter. And it's a great family-friendly event where, I've seen Hunneman Hall with people standing all the way outside who are just there because they want to be there to celebrate the amazing women in our town and what they do to contribute to making it such a vital and rich town. That's
great. That's really great. Did you, now, we have a few minutes.
Oh, no.
And
I talk too fast.
No, that's deliberate, because I was hoping to get an opportunity to ask something about you.
Okay.
So you've got a very strong background. You're in a lot of areas, including inclusion, including areas such as those, including health, including services. What are you focused on over the next 6 months, a year? What's the direction you're going in, besides every place?
Oh, that's such a hard question. That wasn't on my list of things to prepare.
I know.
So I know it's hot in here. So there's, I think at the core of it, and why I also love working in this diversity office and with the health department in our town, is that I believe that we can and should create a really inclusive society, a community, a town, a state, a nation. And I love that I have the opportunity to, both during my daytime life and in my, personal life, is working towards creating that. Not just for myself and my children who are biracial, but for my community and their friends.
Absolutely.
And
we're all proud of you, by the way.
Oh, I love.
That's one of the reasons.
I love that we can work as a town and do all these co-sponsored programs, and that all the departments are really looking to figure out a way to make our town more inclusive. So in the next 6 months to a year, I'm looking to try to figure out many and how many more programs we can do that. I'm working, for example, today I was able to work this morning with this wonderful and amazing, very recently retired teacher on creating diversity literacy groups at our libraries for parents and families with kids, to figure out really great resources. And this amazing teacher, Alicia Shu, will help, and she will, sort of lead this effort with her vast knowledge of both the Brookline schools and her background, create resources and references so that parents can have really good conversations on celebrating and recognizing the diversity within their kids. So I believe, whenever possible, to sort of educate our youth and our
That's
young.
where it comes from.
So that we don't have any issues when they're adults,
Right.
you know. And if you walk around the playgrounds now and I see my kids, it's sort of like mini United Nations at the playgrounds and at the parks. And I love that kids, at least my kids, they all get together and they like each other and they play.
Right.
And they aren't really mired with any sort of unfortunate and sad racism and discrimination.
Right.
Like the things that my kids hate are naps.
Right.
They hate naps. That's like the bad word in my house. You're gonna go take a nap. So they hate that. That's what they hate.
Absolutely. But they're good at Lego, by the way.
Yeah, they love Legos. They love Legos, but they hate naps, you know? So, and I think that's great. And their friends, you know, their friends get together about things they like, you know, doing, running around. And so I want to continue to support and create more programs that educate our youth that are there to create a more inclusive and diverse town.
And you're in the right position. I mean, that's
I love it.
I love the spots, the places you're put yourself and where you're putting your energies, and that's why I asked, because it all comes together, it seems to me, and I'm looking forward to the next few years and watching you do these things. I also, as the reason I mentioned Legos, is your activity on the Age-Friendly Cities Committee, besides being a tremendous contribution to all of us, both from the knowledge you bring and your interest and your ideas, but you also do great Lego.
Thanks. No, I'm thankful with the Legos. You know, it was wonderful funding from BCAN, the Brookline Community Aging Network, and the Brookline Senior Center under Ruth Ann Dobeck and Frank Caro were able to provide funding towards that, and that has been great because we have this Lego display in Town Hall, and we change it seasonally. We're getting ready for a winter conversion, but we don't want to make it too soon because the winter is long. We like having something there that will spark a conversation with families and children who will say, what's going on? And then when they look a little bit closer at the Lego display, there's information there and there's knowledge.
There really is.
And
when I pass it, I stop and look to see what you've changed or somebody has changed.
Yeah.
But every time I look, there's something else I haven't noticed. So I would suggest other people look at it. But
I mean, we're really fortunate. I'm very fortunate that I work under Dr. Lloyd Gelino in our diversity office, work with Dr. Alan Balsam at the health department. We work closely with the rec department, the libraries, and many other departments, that they're all very supportive of trying to create a community that is inclusive, that celebrates the diversity, and that wants really strong community relations, that we can just all be good neighbors.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that we are in this type of a town that does it, that I can live in this town and then also work doing this, because I believe in it. But it's really fun to be able to do these programs. I'm very excited because something else that I forgot to mention is our office is working closely now with the BEEP, Brookline Early Education Program, and Vicki Milstein. And we're actually going to be screening for free at the Brookline Library 3 different times in January, screenings of a documentary called Raising of America, which looks at this conversation of the importance of early education in children.
Right.
And the importance of early education for the children, their families, our nation, and with regards to its relationship to ending violence and discrimination. And we'll be doing those 3 screenings. And I guess part of it is I'm looking forward to the next 6 months to a year in doing all these programs that increase knowledge, increase awareness about different issues, and that start a conversation and hopefully create a movement that whenever people do things or are interested in doing something, they'll think, well, does this lead to a better, and more inclusive environment?
Right.
Does this make my town, better and stronger? Are we better neighbors? And I guess part of the whole thing, and we talk in our office, Dr. Gelino and I, about we just want everyone to be nice, be a good neighbor. Do you give up your seat to someone on the T, for example? How do you take care? And that goes all the way back to the Emergency Preparedness Buddies program. There's just a lot.
Yeah, I love the
it.
term buddies because it's exactly the feeling you need. And we have that, obviously, you've seen on the Age-Friendly Committee, that's a conscious thing, is that we start helping each other and we start recognizing the needs that we all have for each other. So I'm glad to have you on now.
Thank you.
We're reaching towards the end, but I would like to invite you again on a future show
Absolutely.
after you've done some of these things and come back and talk some more, because it's really been a pleasure. So
Thank you.
I think we're reaching close to the end, so let me just help us sign off.
Thank you.
And we'll say goodbye to everybody. So thank you, everybody, for attending our show this time, the 4th show. It will be available over the next few weeks on air, starting on Thanksgiving Eve and Thanksgiving evening, right? And we invite you back for the 5th show in December, where we'll be possibly addressing the library, unless there are some other subjects that come up in between, because we like to be current and we like to attend to the most recent things that are happening in town. And thank you, Chris, and thank you, audience.